fight, say Crawford, like immediately. They're not even debating it. Are they making a mistake?
Well, time will tell. I mean, in the end, if you make me pick, I'll pick Crawford.
All the events. Everyone's talking about the one fight right now, Terence Crawford versus Canelo. Who do you got?
I gotta go Terence Crawford.
Terence Crawford?
Yeah.
Why?
He's the best ever.
Canelo goes in there and underestimates Crawford's strength. That could be a mistake, okay? It only takes a few pounds of pressure to hurt a guy. You don't need to.
Bill O'Neal, the legendary NBA star known worldwide for his dominance on the court and his bold opinions on sports, has openly backed Terence Crawford ahead of the blockbuster fight with Canelo Alvarez. According to Shaq, Crawford is not only the best fighter of this generation but could go down as one of the greatest ever. He praised Crawford's rare ability to adjust in the middle of a fight, calling him a once-in-a-lifetime talent who combines timing, precision, and calmness under pressure. Shaq explained that Crawford's sharp mind and natural instincts in the ring will eventually be too much for Canelo, for Shaq. This fight is more than just another big boxing event, it's a chance for Crawford to cement his legacy forever. He made it clear he believes Crawford will win, joining the growing list of famous voices backing Bud to shock the boxing world once again.
The tough thing for Crawford is that Spence has a very high work rate, and we've seen Spence win behind a jab and defense on a world-class level. He's also a real hard hitter, and he's twitchy, and he's very aggressive. So usually Crawford likes to study a guy for a couple rounds, and then he kind of, okay, now I got it, and then he does it. But against Spence, you might have to hurt him or knock him out, because by the time you turn around, and if Crawford messes around, it can be down 4-1 after 5 rounds, and not against the guy who's looking to survive, against the guy who's looking to beat you up. On the other hand, Spence also has to worry about the fact that he's been through a lot in his life so far. And Crawford, although he also has been really about boxing for a lot of years now. Usually that guy will have the advantage in the moment of truth. And Crawford's always made adjustments. He's probably the best adjusting fighter.
Former world champion Timothy Bradley also shared his thoughts on the matchup, focusing on the talk about Canelo Alvarez's sparring partners. News broke that Canelo had brought in Yaron Ennis, one of the most talented young fighters today, to prepare for the fight. Some wondered if that might intimidate Crawford. Bradley dismissed that idea completely. He said Crawford is not the type of fighter who gets shaken by what happens in his opponent's camp. In Bradley's view, Crawford is built differently, confident, tough, and proven under pressure. He even went so far as to call Crawford the GOAT, greatest of all time, highlighting his unshakable mentality and technical skill. For Bradley, it's simple. Crawford welcomes the challenge and refuses to be distracted by outside noise.
Storm Bradley, who the hell is scared? Who's scared? I ain't scared. T ain't scared. Team Crawford ain't scared. Shit, we ain't never scared. Y'all better get it right. Shoot. Hey, Canelo, you might be getting that Chrysler 300. You getting that Chrysler 300 work right now. That's what you getting. But you ain't getting that. You getting that Bentley on the 13th. You getting that Bentley on the 13th, my boy. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and play with that Chrysler 300. You getting the real on the 13th. I promise you, man. Shoot. I've been saying this since the first day I sparred this man. Trust me. I'm telling y'all, man, out there. Crawford is a different animal. Yeah, he's something like a Michael Jordan. He's something like a Kobe Bryant. He's something like a LeBron James. Yeah, damn it, he a GOAT. I'm telling y'all, GOAT. GOAT. When y'all gonna step up, man? When y'all gonna believe me, man? What do I gotta continue to tell y'all? We gonna figure it out. Shoot, Crawford is Ali. Crawford Sugar Ray Robinson. Crawford Mayweather. He got Mayweather in him too. Yeah. He got Hagler in him. He got Duran in him. Understand that. Y'all think this is a game, man? Y'all think I'm just blowing smoke up my mind? I'm not. No. I'm telling y'all. He gonna figure it out.
Shaq, what up, man? Listen, you're a lifelong combat sports fan. You go to all the events. Everyone's talking about the one fight right now, Terence Crawford versus Canelo. Who do you got?
I gotta go Terence Crawford.
Terence Crawford?
Yeah.
Why?
This is the best ever.
Really? You think he's the greatest ever?
Yeah.
Over Ali, Muhammad Ali? I didn't know you were a big Terence Crawford fan like that.
You have to understand that there's eras, and in different eras, you can bring out the titles. Like, for example, Joker's the best big man now.
Right.
And I don't like.
You put Joker over you as the best big man? Oh.
Different eras and different time. It's not my era, not my time now.
True.
It's their time. So he's the greatest big man in the NBA right now. So I let the people decide who that. But right now, Terence Crawford is the best.
So
and Floyd, because Floyd has never lost.
So how does Terence beat Canelo? Decision?
Or
Or
knock him out.
he's going to knock Canelo out?
Yes, man.
So they're going to have the fight at the Vegas Stadium, Raider Stadium. You're going to be there?
I heard it was off.
No, it's back on.
Okay,
now
yes,
it's back
yeah,
on. It's
I'll be
in
there.
September 13th in Vegas.
I'll be there.
You'll be there. Front row? Front row?
Of course.
All right, cool. You're the man. Listen, I saw you lace up the gloves once versus Oscar De La Hoya. Can we ever see you put the gloves back on? Maybe versus Dwight Howard.
Well, why would I fight him? I only fight champions.
You only fight you.
If I do, see, my thing is, all these guys had a problem with me, but you wait till I turn 50 to say you want to fight.
Right.
I don't respect that. I'll fight Gronk because Gronk is a champion and he's a friend of mine, and I know that he'll compete.
So you want to box Gronk or MMA?
What? MMA.
MMA.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
bigger. So you're a legend. Hey, you're always the coolest. Congrats on another successful year at Shaq's Funhouse.
One of the biggest storylines leading into this fight is the report that Floyd Mayweather Jr. visited Terence Crawford's training camp. Since Mayweather is one of the few men who has already faced and beaten Canelo Alvarez, his advice could be priceless. Back when Mayweather fought Canelo, his strategy was based on defense, sharp counterpunching, and making Canelo frustrated with accuracy. Having access to that kind of insight gives Crawford the chance to learn directly from the man who cracked the Canelo Code more than 10 years ago. Reports suggest that Mayweather spoke to Crawford about staying disciplined, patient, and taking advantage of the small openings in Canelo's style.
2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout, will not learn and not be able to pick up from Jerron Boots Ennis sparring Canelo Alvarez. There's an uproar because Jerron Boots Ennis, African-American fighter, black boxer, has joined the Mexicans' camp to help prepare the Mexican fighter, Canelo Alvarez, defeat another African-American fighter, which he needs Jerron Ennis to give him looks of the undefeated pound-for-pound king, 4-division world champion, 2-division undisputed world champion, superstar boxer who will be a first ballot Hall of Famer once he retires as well, in Terence Bud Crawford, who has 41 wins, no loss, no draw, 31 wins by way of knockout.
Crawford's strength at 147 pounds has often been underrated. Even though he moved up from lighter divisions, he's shown power and toughness against bigger opponents again and again. What makes his preparation even stronger this time is the fact that he has been sparring with former pound-for-pound great Andre Ward. Ward, an undefeated champion and master technician, provides training experience that few others can. Sparring with him forces Crawford to adapt, sharpen his boxing IQ, and polish his defense. Combined with Crawford's natural strength and relentless work ethic, this shows why many believe he'll be at his absolute peak when he steps into the ring with Canelo. The message is clear: Bud isn't just talented, he's a fighter who prepares at the highest possible level.
Down at the perspective here, first and foremost, Terence Crawford is a very strong 147 pounder. He's not a regular guy. He's not a regular 147 pounder. Another thing is, he's an extremely determined fighter. That guy's a winner. He's cut from the same cloth as the Andre Wards, the Floyd Mayweathers. You only get certain fighters that come across in a decade that have that kind of aura and that kind of determination to win. Now, if we want to break it down fundamentally, don't get me wrong, Canelo is a strong fighter. You know, he's proven himself. He got a great chin. He's fought some of the best fighters that you can ask for. But he's not that much bigger if you ask me. They're about the same size and height. Now, don't get me wrong, he's a little bit wider. He's a little bit, pause, thicker, right? Like, as far as his frame goes.
Veteran boxing analyst Max Kellerman has called this upcoming fight the biggest event of his entire career. Despite covering many legendary fights, Kellerman believes Canelo vs. Crawford is on another level greater even than the headline-grabbing Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson event. In his view, this fight goes beyond normal boxing hype. It's about two pound-for-pound kings, each representing a different era and style. Canelo symbolizes dominance and star power in today's boxing world, while Crawford represents pure skill, resilience, and technical brilliance. For Kellerman, the beauty of this fight is that it's two champions meeting without excuses, politics, or delays. The stakes aren't just about pay-per-view numbers, they're about legacy.
Where would you rank this fight out of your top 3 to 5 of all the boxing fights you've called, you've experienced, you've watched?
In terms of the magnitude of the
magnitude,
fight?
yeah.
I mean, of the fights that I've called ringside, it might turn out to be number 1. I've done Pacquiao fights, I've done Mayweather fights, I've done Anthony Joshua against Klitschko. Those are big fights, but this will, listen, because of Netflix, this will be the most watched fight, championship fight, in almost 50 years. This is going to be because Muhammad Ali fought Leon Spinks in the rematch in '78, and they did 90 million TV sets. 90 million. And since then, what has even come close? The biggest fights have all been on pay-per-view, and they do 2 million buys. Oh my God, 4 million buys, Mayweather Pacquiao. As I keep saying, if 5 people per TV set watch, that's 20 million people. This is gonna do multiples of that. So, so when you look at it from like a commercial point of view, it'll easily be the biggest boxing event I've ever covered.
Experts believe that the version of Canelo Alvarez who shows up on fight night will be the deciding factor. Critics have pointed out that his recent performances haven't shown the same explosiveness and sharpness of his prime years. To beat Crawford, many argue that Canelo needs to return to his old style, the relentless pressure fighter who attacked with combinations and unmatched stamina. If he plays it safe or underestimates Crawford's timing, analysts warn he could be broken down. The general view is this: Canelo's legacy is on the line, and to silence the doubters, he has to bring back the very best version of himself.
In regards to Canelo's media workout, so what do we see there? We see a little bit of what he wants to do to take advantage of a right-hand southpaw matchup. Get his lead foot on the outside, bang the right hand down the pipe, set it up with the jab, and maybe even fire that jab at the lead hand of Crawford to just get it touch, step outside right hand down the middle. We saw Canelo doing a lot of cross-stepping, which is, I think, a bad idea versus someone who has good angle manipulation like Crawford does. Right? Every wasted movement is going to be a capitalization for Crawford to try to fire back on. And Canelo is going to be there to be hit with some counter punches. Make no mistake about it, Canelo will stand in the pocket. Yes, he'll try to make Crawford miss, but sometimes he'll even eat a couple so that he can be there behind that high guard, taking punches to look for one of the big ones on his own counter shot. So that can be a little bit of the gamesmanship too. That can be a little bit of the chess game going on, is who's going to land the bigger counter punch and how many of those can Crawford take moving up to 168 versus Canelo, who has been there and is fighting a guy that has fought at a lot smaller weight, that hasn't seen the power, like we talked about, the narratives being built, that Canelo brings at 168. Even now, all those things will come into play. I think a big important part of this fight is just how much Canelo utilizes his lead hand, because I'm telling you, it's going to be the most important thing in this fight. I really think if Canelo is back on his jab and is able to mask some of the stuff that he loves to do, which is that lead hook to the body, smashing hook on the arms, on the body, on the shoulders. He's able to hide it just a little bit and then hit you with that timing, that Canelo Alvarez timing that's been perfect, that put down Amir Khan, that put down Billy Joe Saunders, that found the button on Kovalev. Those punches, that timing, it's not just speed, it's not just power, it's the throwing in between, it's finding the right shot. Those things can make all the difference in the world, because I would almost bet everything I own that if Canelo lands clean on Crawford, it's going to have far more of an effect than Crawford landing clean on Canelo. And that's not even because both guys don't possess power. Crawford possesses power, and he's put a lot of guys down. But Canelo, we've seen, has an iron chin, and I watched Crawford get rocked by Gamboa. Again, different time period, I get that, but I don't think that as you get older, and even as you go up in weight, that somehow makes you more readily available to take flush punches.
Boxing legend Andre Ward has praised the importance of this fight, saying that no matter who wins, the sport of boxing itself is the real victor. Ward explained that matchups of this scale are rare today, when negotiations and promotional issues often block the best from fighting the best. He specifically thanked figures like Torki Alalshik and Dana White for helping to make this fight possible, giving fans the showdown they've been asking for. Ward believes that when major decision-makers work together, boxing can deliver unforgettable moments like this. Major question for fans has been whether Crawford can handle Canelo's punching power, especially since moving up in weight has historically been tough for smaller fighters. But new training camp footage has changed the narrative completely. Videos show Crawford looking stronger, bigger, and more comfortable at the higher weight. Instead of struggling, Bud looks sharp, agile, and well-prepared, with added muscle in the right areas. Analysts now say the weight gain has only made him more dangerous.
Right, and again, stark contrast to what Terence Crawford is having to deal with. He is fighting guys, and when I say cutting down from 190, probably in the ring at 190 pounds, much less cutting down from it. Crawford's probably used to being hit by guys like Sean Porter, who, you know, maybe 160 pounds on fight night. The difference is just night and day. So I was thinking, how in God's name are you going to get around that? How are you going to get around the strength disadvantage? Because Crawford is very physically strong, and he normally always has, maybe with the exception of Sean Porter, although that was kind of much of a muchness. Sean Porter did really well that fight. He's normally always had the physical strength advantage, very physically strong as Terence Crawford. And I just remember thinking, how are you going to get around that? You know, you're used to hitting guys and they get hurt. Alvarez has been hit by Danny Jacobs, he's been hit by Triple G, he's been hit by Bivol, Kovalev, Callum Smith, etc, etc, etc. Big punching guys who are a lot bigger than Terence Crawford. Granted, not skillful, a lot bigger. So again, I'm thinking, how are you going to get around this? Well, Crawford has released a couple of training clips, and in those training clips, yikes, he's looking good for one. He's looking a lot better than Canelo was looking in some of his training clips. But again, you can't read a great deal into those training clips because, again, Alvarez is clearly holding back. You know, people say, oh, he looked terrible. It's like, well, you can kind of tell he's not going full tilt. You know, you can kind of tell that. So what does that tell you? You know, how many times have we seen guys look good on the pads and then on fight night they've nothing left? I distinctly remember Alexander Povetkin in the run-up to the second Dillian White fight in an open workout. Man looked really good in the pads. That was in Gibraltar. Man looked really good in the pads. Really good. He didn't look good on fight night, did he? So, you know, you can't read a great deal into. Yeah, if you can tell they're trying, they look completely.
Actor and comedian Faizan Love also jumped into the conversation with a bold prediction. He described Crawford as a very bad man in the ring, meaning dangerously skilled, and flat out declared that Bud would win, no matter what Canelo's resume looks like. Love dismissed the idea that Canelo's long list of past opponents gives him an advantage. Instead, he argued that Crawford's intelligence, adaptability, and killer instinct are the deciding factors for Faizan. This fight isn't about Canelo's past, but about Crawford's present. Bud is in his prime, motivated and ready to prove his greatness. To him, this is the moment when the torch gets passed to a new face of boxing.
Are you a boxing fan?
Yeah.
Canelo versus Crawford.
Crawford all day long.
Now.
Crawford all day long.
Now, according to betonline.ag, Canelo is favored -172. Crawford is the underdog at +151.
Oh, good.
So that means if you bet $172 on Canelo, you'll get $100 back. Almost 2-to-1 odds.
Wait, are you saying Canelo is the under?
Favored. No. Canelo's favored.
Oh.
So that means Crawford. So with Crawford, if you bet $100 on Crawford, you'll get $151 back. Meaning that he is basically
underdog.
He's the underdog. They'll say that he's going to lose. Now Crawford is undefeated. Canelo had a couple defeats like Mayweather, but in general, he's been doing it a bit longer. And Canelo's naturally bigger.
So
you give it to Crawford?
I'm going to bet on Crawford.
Is it because he's black? And Canelo's Mexican?
No, because Crawford's Bud's a bad.
Yeah.
Bud's a bad. The only Shea interview I liked was with him and Crawford.
Okay.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it.
It was a really good interview.
Okay.
He was showing him how to fight, and Shay kept getting tired. He's like, and he just kept it 100. They was in the ring. He showed him how to box. Because I always thought I had to slap Shannon. Well, you know, I was like, at some point, me and Shannon gonna mix it up, but no longer. It's all love. And he can't fight. He's just a big dude. And Crawford was. Can we scratch that? But yeah, he can't fight. He was in there with Crawford, and Crawford was.
Well, look, Canelo is 63-2-2 with 39 knockouts. Crawford is 41-0 with 31 knockouts. So more knockouts per fights, percentage-wise.
Crawford?
Yeah, but Crawford has to go up in weight. Canelo's naturally bigger and stockier.
That's just technically.
Yeah, I mean, but that does matter.
Not really.
Crawford is taller. He's at 5'8", 74-inch reach.
When is this fight?
September 13th, 2025. And it's going to be on Netflix, so it's going to be free.
Is it in Vegas?
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm going to be there.
Wraps up today's coverage. Stay tuned for more updates, and we'll see you next time